What's up, everybody? We are back. Shot Tank is here. All the boys are here. We got a fun one today. We're going to do some SoRare. We're going to talk some Top Shot. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's go around the horn. JBB, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Dude, we're doing well. I'm rocking the Top Shot shirt.
It's good. It's
Wow. We're back, baby. We're back.
back. It's back. That's good. TST, not seeing any merch over there, dude. What's going on?
No merch. We're pretty clean over here. Raps are winning, so I'm happy.
That's early, dude.
How many of the Raps are going to be on the team tomorrow?
We're living in the moment, okay? We're living in the moment, like when we're buying these packs.
That's right. That is right. Also, does
That's true.
Harrison Barnes done anything yet? Because he's been MIA for the first part of the game, and that's been terrible.
Two. He's up to 2.
Not enough. Jeb, what's going on with you, man?
Not much. My Russell Westbrook Limited sold immediately, which makes me think maybe I listed it too quickly. Should have wrote it out a bit more, but profit's profit, baby.
I'm curious, like, I mean, I guess we can start there. So they announced our man Woj, Shams, whoever the else tweeted it out. And then everybody just like quote tweeted it. But trade went down. Lakers only departed with 1 pick of the 2. So it feels like the Lakers still have 1 more move. So they moved a pick. They moved Russell Westbrook over to Utah. Utah sent Mike Conley over to Minnesota. And then the Lakers acquired Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and D'Angelo Russell. And then the rumors are Russ is going to get bought out. He's got, a ton of goodwill towards the state of Utah. So can't imagine he sets foot in Vivian Arena. And then a lot of rumors of him getting bought out and then going to the Clippers, maybe. So that is like the first, or I guess the second domino, because Kyrie was the first one. But anyways, to your point, Jeb, I mean, I don't know, like, why we're like, oh, man, I need to go buy a Russ Limited. I mean, he might not play for a week. Like, what are we doing? I'll never understand people buying stuff like that in that moment, unless they're like, hey, I need a Lakers Russ, and we're not going to get another Lakers Russ jersey.
Yeah, like
collectible brand.
Collectible.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess like John, you were saying before we went on, I get like the Beasley to the Lakers is kind of nice, right?
Yeah, I think that'll be good for him. I think Beasley, I mean, Lakers need like literally anybody that can shoot, and Beasley just fires. So I feel like that's the positive. And obviously, I don't think Russell Westbrook to Walker Kessler is the future. So
Yeah.
I think someone elsewhere.
Is Scottie Pippen Jr. still on the Lakers?
I think he's in.
Yes.
Yeah, not like in Los Angeles though. He's on wherever the G League bros are playing. I would imagine.
Isn't there some history there?
Is there some history there
with his mom and Malik Beasley?
Is it? I don't know.
Malik Beasley?
I think you're thinking of
Michael Jordan's kid. Are you thinking about Michael Jordan's kid right now?
That's currently, right?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Go ahead, give us the backstory on who bones who and when that was going on. Like, give us.
I don't know. I was hoping one of you knew the details. That's just
this is kind of right up Jeb's alley, but
yeah, I was hoping someone else would be.
So what should I Google? Who bones Scottie Pippen's wife?
Well, yeah, I think
that's
5 minutes.
Ex-wife.
We're 5 minutes, so I think we're good.
Barca.
And nothing, no info.
Surprising. Oh, okay.
Apparently, a whole lot here.
AJ in the chat saying they were dating, so I'll believe AJ. So I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe if he wasn't already in the G League, maybe he gets sent down as they're getting some more
or he's
players.
staying in the G League.
Yeah, he wasn't on the roster the last couple of games, so I imagine he's in the G League. But the part of the Lakers too, I know, like they said, Russ moved. Juan Toscano-Anderson and Damian Jones also were 2 guys that were moved in this deal that went to Utah. So I don't know. Corey H being like, TST is right, but also said it in like a nice backhanded way. He's like, it's been all over Twitter already, guys. So like, what are you doing?
Well, Twitter's been broken, so can't blame us.
Yeah.
Not for me though, dude. I can keep tweeting. I know you weren't allowed to for a little while, but
tweeting in the void.
We haven't been maxed out yet.
Oh, is that because you're sick?
Because you're check mark.
It's because I'm sick. I think is that what you said? Because I'm sick. Yeah, dude. It's
because
I'm sick. It's because I'm pretty sick. But anyways, all right. That was the first deal to happen. I don't know what else is going to happen. Maybe we get some more moves tonight or tomorrow. The trade deadline, I believe, is it 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, something like that. So that'll be fun to see what kind of movement we have. I don't know. Does anybody? We can like pivot. So what we're gonna do tonight? We're gonna talk SoRare for a little bit. There was a thread in French that we're gonna talk about, and then we'll talk about how Top Shot took away some packs, but then we're like, hey, what about some more packs? And LeBron did some stuff, and they're like, how about some more packs? And then the All-Star game, they're like, what if we did some packs from the All-Star game? So, but they did a unique way with all of those different packs, so at least they're not all the same way, and we can talk about that. But let's start with the SoRare stuff. I don't know. Are there a lot of movement? Is there a lot of movement happening right now on these like Beasley cards? And I don't know if somebody wants to pull up SoRare data, but I'd be curious if people are out there buying. I'm just fascinated by that.
I mean, Westbrook jumped $10. Nicole Alexander Walker jumped about like 3 or 4, and he was already kind of up because of speculation that he might get traded.
I understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like what we saw with Top Shot in the early days. I think people just get excited and they feel like, oh my gosh, I got to go and get this guy. I don't know what the reason is. I couldn't explain why. Yeah, it looks like he's up a little bit, and I bet you that number's even a little higher because it takes a second for SoRare to catch up.
Beasley's the one that makes sense. Like that, he is now. I mean, I guess I don't know how many more open shots he's going to get than he was getting in Utah already, but his role's not going to change too much. Like he's going to go out there and he's going to chuck. Vando's going to be out there.
He's on the Lakers, so like more
that changes it.
More stuff.
Yeah, he'll probably get more shots. Damian Jones hasn't gone up at all. I was kind of surprised about that. I feel like he might actually get some runs, see the light of day.
Yeah, unless Utah makes more moves, I don't see him playing too much. Like unless they decide to cut bait with Kelly Olynyk. I mean, because they still have Kelly O, Laurie Markkinen.
Oh, I'm assuming they ship everyone besides Laurie. So
Laurie,
we'll see.
And real quick before we get too far, I'm gonna start ripping these gift redeems in the chat. So free Top Shot moments coming at you people. I said I'd drop anything I can't sell for $1 in the chat. So first one's live, baby. Keep going.
Shout out John, being very generous.
Yeah, I don't understand the Russ.
It's not that generous.
Because I mean, I guess if he goes to the Clippers, that's kind of interesting. Maybe you think they're going to make a playoff run. It would be kind of funny if he ends up on the LA team that goes deeper in the playoffs.
So if Russ goes to the Clippers, like, what does that mean? Like, are the Clippers good? Or
I mean, the Clippers are already good without him. I think the Clippers are just desperate for any type of point guard.
Yeah, like he's an immediate upgrade over Reggie Jackson, the corpse of John Wall.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have anybody right now. So any sort of point guard, yeah, I mean, he was playing really well too. So I mean, his performance last night was bizarro. So I'm sure he's just going to be happy to get.
I'm sure because LeBron sat him down and said, "Hey, this is your last game here. Make it count."
Yeah.
Anthony Davis didn't seem too thrilled either, and I'm sure it's because LeBron was trying to see if Davis could get traded as well. So,
yeah.
So you know what I find interesting here, for those that are in the public betting.
Oh wow, Conley's going up.
But Russ, this probably makes him ineligible for Sixth Man of the Year, right?
I don't think so. I think as long as he comes off the bench more than he starts, like I think he could still technically do it.
I feel like they just like that one's arbitrary too. Like it's not like,
but if he
qualified for field goal percentage or something like that, it's like
just
yeah, he's a six man.
Okay, but he's likely going to he's likely going to go somewhere that's not Utah, and he's probably going to help go to the playoffs and not come off the bench, right? Like if he was going to,
he might come off the bench on the Clippers.
Oh, you think he'd come off the bench on the Clippers?
He might.
It's
really do the same thing he was doing the Lakers.
Well, I'm just trying to help find value for the people,
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's the favorite right now. He's like the -200 favorite right now, and if
Brogdon,
like,
maybe.
Could be Brogdon plus 200.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I'm thinking about as I'm seeing some of these SoRare numbers move. Like Mike Conley, I guess, is going to be playing a little bit more consistent time. He's got a shot at going in, like not deep in the playoffs, but maybe a second round in the playoffs. He's going to be the starting point guard for a team. He's going to get some open shots. I can see it a little bit. The Beasley one I see a little bit, but I don't understand. Like, I think Beasley's pretty much in the same situation. He's just on a team that's maybe going to be more competitive.
Yeah.
Like Russ, no matter what situation he goes to, he's probably going to be in like the same. Like, I just don't see how all of a sudden these plays become way better than what they already were. You know?
Yeah.
I think most of them become objectively worse. Like Alexander, like is like going to get buried in the Minnesota bench unless I'm missing something. I don't see him really.
I mean, he's barely playing now. Like, that's what I don't even like.
So I bought him thinking that Utah would trade everyone and then he would get to play because they have no one.
Yeah.
But him, like, to your point, like, he's barely playing now, so they're not gonna look how much he's like jumped. Like,
jeez.
Yeah, I don't understand why anyone would.
No, it's super dumb.
Yeah, which
so where's now? Where are we at? I'm just losing track of this trade.
He's at
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, look up Juan Toscano Anderson. I would be shocked if he went up, but I don't know. It's not impossible.
Did he? Because I'll list his ass right now.
That's what I'm saying. You should.
What about Damian Jones? Yeah, no, people aren't that dumb.
No, they aren't. I was getting excited to list mine. I
mean, he went up from $2 to $2.50.
That's like
Toscano.
John, real quick, how does that affect the spreadsheets?
I'm thinking we'll try to at least make sure everybody's on the right team by tomorrow.
I think this is like kind of the whole reason why I did that insanely long like trade deadline stream, because I was like, dude, people will pay extra. I couldn't tell you why. I can't explain the logic behind it, but if there's a profit margin there to take, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue sitting on the sidelines. The only Zach Collins is the only guy that makes sense to me. Like, looking at the entire trade landscape, he's like the one guy where I'm like, oh yeah, that would change things massively for the San Antonio Spurs.
Picked up a rare today.
There you go. Zach Collins.
Someone accepted an offer.
I did see Plumlee got hurt early in tonight's game, and then he came right back in. But I was like, "Is this?" Oh yeah, McKay Beard right on time said Plum Dog went off injured. I saw him come back into the game though, but there was a hot second where I was like, "Mark Williams, baby, it's finally your time to shine." But Plumlee will just freaking be around forever, man. He's just gonna stick around. You want to? I don't know if anybody has the thread up. And then TSC, if you want to translate it, but there was, to be fair, to make sure that Top Shot Sad Boy doesn't go Top Shot Angry Boy on Twitter. We wanted to make sure, we found some criticism, some feedback, or whatever, I don't know what we want to call it, of SoRare. So I've been seeing a little bit more lately. Everybody lost their mind about the LeBron thing being like off-centered today, which I thought was really, really funny. Because maybe I'm wrong, but that just felt like a cropping issue. Like, that feels like that's going to get fixed.
Their official comms, it was good, and then the one TFM tweeted out was like a little bit off or whatever.
Yeah, it was on there. It was wrong on their site. I'm not wrong. It was just like a little off-centered, and I guess maybe you guys dodging these updates. Wait, what?
No, Boston Base has been giving us the full breakdown of what's going on with Malik Beasley, Scottie Pippen's wife, Malik Beasley.
The whole
He's got everything.
We appreciate Boston Base. We're just taking notes for extensive lore video in the future. Don't worry.
So one of the things while we're talking about the LeBron, because I know we're not really talking about that much, but I did think it's going to be interesting to see where all those wily veterans come in at for the uniques, right?
Because should be like $4, bro.
Should be like nothing, but like it was Udonis Haslem. Who else was it? It was like Taj Gibson, I think, right?
Here I got it up here right now.
He's later in the week, right?
Yeah, we got Iggy, Udonis Haslem, and then LeBron next week. But like, this is what I was saying. Everybody was like, dude, it's a fucking misprint, man. It's a fucking misprint, dude. And like, you know what it was? They just recropped it. Like, they just like I know we're just so prone to seeing emails come out where like Jalen is spelled wrong for Jaylen Brown and stuff like that. But like this, that one was so clear to me that it was just like a formatting error, and that it'll be adjusted, and everyone's like, it's the blockchain, dude. You can't fix it.
Well, and then probably it was just a cash issue too. So it's like, I don't know.
Cash is king, dude. Cash is king.
Well, CAC HE, but yes.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it'll be interesting to see what these guys go for, because that was I sent out a stupid tweet on Sunday morning about, the SoRare stuff and compared it to Top Shot, and that's illegal. But everybody was like, well, yeah, but what is like somebody, it's got utility. So like, what is somebody who's gonna be almost retired gonna sell for? So I don't know. Hopefully it goes for a couple grand and it can be like shove off. Dude.
The LeBron, or you mean the garbage?
No,
ones?
like the Udonis has it.
Yeah, I mean that shouldn't go for God. So right now the low bid is 491.
It's already higher than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's maybe where it starts. I don't know.
I'm fascinated where the LeBron's up to 1,700, and I know we saw the Giannis go for 187,000, but I like that it's going to be considerably less than that. But I'm so curious to see where it lands and how people treat it, knowing that they're like, okay, well, it's of the year that he broke the record. So for all you collectible nerds out there being like, well, this one's important. Like I wonder if they treat it differently. But for the game aspect of it, you're like, all right, well, how many more peak LeBron years or fantasy LeBron years am I getting?
Like 15, I think, at this pace.
Did you say 15?
I think so at this pace, right?
Yeah. JC, do me a favor. Can you turn your mic down a little bit less so that we can't hear you at all?
It's StreamYard automatically adjusts it.
Bump that up, baby. It sounds like you're whispering.
Well, Candace said that she thinks LeBron's got like 6 or 8 more years left last night, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he's definitely trying to play with his kid, it's gonna be nuts. Poke Park, what are you doing in there, dude? You're just like so weird in the chat. Make me uncomfortable.
Weird.
All right, like TST, do you want to? I know you had like shared a thread with us earlier today, and maybe talk about some of like some of the pushbacks we've been getting on or not even pushback. This was just kind of like looking at the market over time and some of the things that have been like red flags that have been popping up. I think.
Was it this one?
I don't know.
It's pretty French. I know that.
Here we go. Yeah, I think it was this one.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, what we're looking at here is the prices based on tier, and I'm like, it's not written anywhere, but I'm like 99% sure we're only looking at like the football soccer side of SoRare here.
Mm-hmm.
But basically this is like the limited market, and it's basically market cap, right? Like it's the total price of them all. And like this is the average price of all the limited. So you can see like that's even more substantial downturn. And this is from like the past year. So, and then this is the same thing with the rare. So all the rares total market cap, a little more stable if you compare it to the limited one, or a little less volatile, I should say. But then the price per rare, like pretty much same direction, going down, kind of leveling off in the past couple months, but still you've seen it go up, down. This might have been something to do with ETH rewards too, is like why they had some upticks, or even some ETH pricing in there. And then there's like a bunch of comments, basically a lot of people complaining that they're minting too much. So it's just like interesting to hear.
Do it in French, please.
What's that?
Can you do it in French, please?
Si on veut, on peut le faire en français. But yeah, so a lot of people complain that, and then other people just complaining like in general, like that you put out this many players, obviously it's going to happen. And like some things are interesting, I think, when we look at this from like a soccer versus basketball like situation. Like there's so many soccer players, and if they want to cover all these leagues, they like, even though the mint counts are lower per player, if you just look at like how many players they put out, it's going to have like an effect on the market in that way.
Right.
So that's like one thing that's different from the NBA. However, like the NBA is like has higher mint counts for the players, and you're just going to kind of run into the same thing over time, I imagine.
Yeah.
What were we seeing any sort of like? Oh, go ahead, John.
Well, I was just trying to think like, so part of the football stuff is that they like they've continued to kind of grow in like breadth, right? Like of leagues offered and like stuff like that. Like, I mean, obviously the big Premier League announcement that, that's a big one, but like as they've like continued to add leagues and stuff like that over, because what was this last year or so, right? So
Yeah, that's a full
I
year.
feel like that, I don't know, I feel like that is maybe a little bit more dilutive. And so, okay, so like, because technically, as you add players or cards or whatever, right? Like theoretically, the market cap kind of should go up, right? Because like you're adding like you like we saw it on Top Shot early on, right? When everybody's like, "Oh, the market cap's going up," and it's like, "Well, yeah, that's just because they added like a bunch of moments this last weekend or something." But I wonder if what happened on the soccer side is like, the user base that they had started, branching off into the different leagues, and there wasn't just enough demand for like the competitions within the current leagues or whatever, right? Like, and so like I don't know, I don't really haven't followed like all the different leagues, but I know when I go to click on the freaking football side, there's like a million freaking competitions, and it's like very overwhelming. And so I'd imagine it started out smaller and then has grown and grown and grown. And I feel like maybe that's where some of the dilution comes from.
There is another one I follow on Twitter. I'll try to pull it up, but they track by the leagues too.
Mhm.
And there is like a little bit of a like cyclical action going on. But for the most part, from what I've seen, it's like the current leagues like maybe stabilize, whereas the others go down. But it's not like you see these huge like jumps going on.
Yeah.
But again, like I think part of it is that you're looking at like all the cards at once. And in like reality, like if you're producing cards for these players that just aren't going to have value, just like a lot of these, like, your random 15th man on the NBA, like you think about it from a soccer perspective, like you got 11 people on the pitch. Like then we're talking like subs and everything of all these teams in all of these leagues. There's so, I guess that's also where people are like complaining about like their rewards and stuff. And then I think the big thing this week in the soccer side of things was that like top end rewards were actually like shitty rewards.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other kind of aspect of like, is this?
Well, that
like
is something I
worth
think we should talk about as it relates to the basketball side.
Yeah, that
A
was
little bit about the reward stuff.
Yeah, I had a call with someone today, and they were asking for like some feedback, and that was like the one thing I feel like that they can do a better job overall, right? Like at first we didn't know what the rewards were, then they started listing the rewards, but now I think we need just a little bit more information of how the like tiers are, how the tiers are, like how the algorithm works to create the tiers. And I know they've shared some of that stuff with me that I was able to share. Like it's based on both like performance, but also market value. So sometimes, like the perfect example is 2 weeks ago, I won a Rui as a tier 2. And when I opened it, I was like, this is garbage. Why am I getting a Rui right now? That's not a tier 2 player. But it's like, oh yeah, but he's spiking right now. So, it's this weird thing where I think like someone, I mean, even though I was like, great, this is like worth something and I could flip it and sell it to go buy something else, there was still part of me that was like a little bummed, because I was like, I'd rather, win a good player for my good result so that I can use them. So I just think if that information was a little bit more easily accessible to like the general public, I think that kind of goes along a longer way,
Well, it's almost like their rewards should be like the reward should be based on like last 20 average or like a last 30 average or something. So that way it's like a little bit less volatile, and like the player makes a little bit more sense like of when you're getting them versus like, I just got a guy who was hot.
Like, so would you rather, so like if we're talking like from a like value, right? Like would you want like I don't know, Vucevic, for example, that's like cap's going to be in the like 50s or like high 40s or something, versus like the guy that is, like a 20 cap, but is like spiking in the marketplace because he's now a starter. Like which one would you get rather as a reward?
I mean, I feel like I guess I mean it's dependent on the player, but like
or
I
if you
tier
or if
2,
you
I'd rather have Vooch.
or you have the instance where like someone was starting because someone else was injured, so their cap is super high now. Their last 40 say is even high, but then now someone's come back and like their value is gone because they're headed back to the bench and like playing 10 minutes now, but their cap is at 30. Like you wouldn't want that situation either. So I think that's why they balance both. I think it'd just be like, it'd be interesting even if they just like showed like what positions are getting which ones, because like when you're within a tier, there's still like a ranking. It's not randomized. Like if you come like last place in tier 3 versus first place in tier 3, it's not like that might get a better one than the first place in tier 3. So like it'd be interesting. And even if it moved like day to day, so you could kind of like see like, oh, I'm in the range of this player or whatnot. Like, you know, from 100 to 120 are going to get, you know, Vucevic this.
You know,
this
I actually like, it's weird. I agree with that, because I agree with that to an extent, but I think one of the cool things is the reward days when you get to open it, and that would take some of the excitement out of that. So I just think like we need, if it was clear, you know, whether you agreed with it or disagreed with it, if it was just clear how they got to where they got to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you could just explain that to the user in a concise way. Also, I was seeing Aviation Bug was talking a little bit about what we started the conversation with, saying the SoRare market was all screwed up about a year ago, hyping ETH prices way too high, $300 for a limited goalkeeper, much better now. And then like, which is funny. We're in welcome to Top Shot. Like we totally understand that. That it's like, because again, as someone who's gotten into it right now, it doesn't feel that bad. But I don't know how.
Even found it interesting. Like, so part of why, you know, and maybe this is just optimism or whatever. And you know, it wasn't too long ago that I was talking about this about NFL all day. But like, I feel like the fact that
say those words.
I just feel like the fact that there's one league and the one league is the NBA, where like players have longevity and the superstars stay superstars for a while, and like that kind of thing, right? It's not like the NFL where like a running back's good for 2 years and then he like blows his ACL and his career's over. Like there's like these good players are going to stay good, and there's enough like I mean, obviously you've got like the Luka is like the, you know, pretty kind of in his own tier, but like it's not like he's the highest scoring guy every single week, right? Like he can get outscored. And so like, because I found it interesting when the SoRare data guys were talking about how Premier League was getting added, and like, oh, now like Kimmich is like not the only like midfielder to play anymore, right? Like like that was the thing. It was like Kimmich was like the best midfielder in the game, and now there's like De Bruyne and whatever, a bunch of different dudes that can, you know, now
keep naming them, dude. What are the other ones?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of all I got really. So like other guys, like the midfielder guys, but that's pretty much I don't even know where I'm going with this, but basically like that the adding like a whole nother league then like released this whole pricing kind of discovery kind of thing that's not going to happen, because like Kimmich's price dropped because there's other dudes that are viable and yada yada yada, where I feel like that there's not as much of like that kind of stuff that's going to happen in the NBA. And but then the flip side of that is, until recently there hasn't really been the cap type stuff in the football streets, and so I feel like people were able to kind of lock in their bros, ride them out every week in the same, you know, leagues, and that's kind of where they were, versus on our side, like we kind of have to be a little bit more nimble and have a bigger gallery, which then leads to higher mint counts and price dilution and yada yada yada.
Yeah. I think that's right. I also think it's like tough to look at the prices of stuff right after the league starts. You know what I mean? Like, because we saw like right when Premier League started, we saw like the NBA go down. We saw everything else go down because people were like, "Oh, I need to go buy stuff over there." So I think after that levels out a little. I mean, the NBA bounced back like the next day. That
it bounced back crazy fast. Real quick, shout out to Top Shot Tesla for becoming a member. Appreciate it. I have a question too that I've kind of been like rolling around in my brain. What do you guys think about the fact that the NBA, like the SoRare NBA, increases minting like right as during locks, like lock day, the mint rate like drastically increases and auctions are happening constantly, as opposed to like in between, it's like every 2 minutes. That really rubs me the wrong way for a couple reasons. Like partly like what John's saying, where like, there's only this many players and there's no rush to flood the market here because these cards should be viable for quite a while. But two, it's just like maybe their argument would be like it takes away volatility, like it makes the market a little more stable. But like that's, I don't know, at least for someone who's like in the marketplace and getting their hands dirty, like it's kind of like takes a little bit of the fun out of it. Like takes a lot of wind out of the sails when like someone's pumping, but then also like, oh, like there's two of him on getting auctioned off right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the future of fandom. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be. It's not about flipping. It's about just like getting. No, I haven't been paying attention to that. Honestly, I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was something that was happening. I guess to your point, that is like the goal is that they're trying to keep people. They're almost like leveling it out a little bit. But I hadn't noticed that. That's interesting.
I think I don't know.
But Jeb, is that possibly an algorithm thing? Because people are like,
oh yeah,
more
100%.
like because people are more likely to be making their first purchase on a lock day. People are most likely to be signing up for the first time and making a lineup and stuff. So,
well, to your point, I feel like it's weird because I on the Top Shot side of things, I complained that nothing seemed to be on an algorithm, and now I'm complaining it seems like everything on SoRare is algorithm run. It just doesn't seem like there's any nuance. Like it just seems like they're like, to the point of the rewards too. Like everything is so programmatic. There's no. I saw a Deep Threat mention earlier that like maybe.
So what you're saying is you want a chance at that unique Giannis. You want
that's exactly
in your common reward.
Yeah.
Do you wish that your common reward packs were like hot packs?
Wait, like what?
Like hot packs.
Oh,
where you had a chance at a rare.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for. No, I think
what TST saying is correct. It's like an algo thing, and like I just think, and to be honest with you, I feel like they've, I haven't really paid like super close attention, but it did feel like at the beginning of the year they were cranking out auctions, and then they've definitely slowed them down since. And so obviously that's like you were saying, Jeb, we're over here thinking like Top Shot is, running things on a, well-oiled machine like that. And then it's likely just kind of a couple people deciding on a round number to put in mints.
Do we want more money? Yeah, let's get more money.
So it's just put the plus at the end. We never know. But it's good to see like the algorithm like working in that manner on SoRare, because I feel like they are able to kind of tweak things and adjust it accordingly. So like what TST was saying, it's like, yeah, when more people are going to buy a certain player on lock day, like it makes sense that the algorithm would say, okay, let's pump out a couple more auctions and stuff, right? And so I think that's kind of like the iteration to make sure that, they are understanding. It's like, maybe
I guess my critique is that it feels like they built the algorithm and they like kind of to the point we were talking about earlier, it feels like they almost took the soccer algorithm, plopped it into the NBA, made some changes, and they're like, okay, we're going to let it run, because there just does not seem to be a lot of nuance with how it works. Like it just seems very, very simple. And I think that like in terms of like how the rewards are determined, it's very black and white. Like how minting is determined. Like I know Andrew pointed it out on Twitter when like Wiggins didn't play for like 3 weeks. He got minted because they're not going in and manually doing anything. They're just letting the system run. And but then on the other side, you have Theo Maledon, who still hasn't had a card minted. And I'm 1,000% convinced it's just because they're like, hey, we turned it on. If he didn't get a single card, he has 4 limiteds and 1 rare. He's never been injured. Like they do not mint his card, and it's just because the algorithm has missed him or something.
Well,
But wasn't Andrew Wiggins like because he was day to day versus like being out,
So
and that's why he kept minting?
I think
he wasn't out for like they didn't announce like he is missing a month right now.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. But what I'm saying is, that's kind of my point is, like, if you had someone in there just making some little tweaks, being like, oh, you know what? Andrew Wiggins hasn't played in a while. Let's just turn down the rate of Andrew Wiggins minted. We don't have to stop it because we don't know when he's coming back. But let's turn down, because it just doesn't make sense to mint him at the same pace as all these guys that are playing. Because
you know what
supply
I
and
think would
demand
help is SoRare Economist creates a Twitter account and kind of gives us updates. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm just making some bad trading decisions. That's a good point. Okay.
I do think Jesus Christ. I don't think we need more Theo Maledon, but I do agree. Like, so less Wiggins, but we don't need Theo Maledon. Like, I'm okay if the algorithm isn't pumping out guys who aren't playing. Like, to the point of what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but it's not a good idea for there to be only 4 Theo Maledons for the rest of the season or leading into next season, right? He's played here and there. He's played here and there, and then if the Hornets make some big trades, he's probably going to play a lot more.
All right, so he's on the Hornets. Got that one.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I'm just too deep into the depth charts here, but I feel like I'm so upset that there's no Theo Maledon. I would buy him instantly. I would stack Theo Maledon.
Yeah,
I think he's really good. I
feel like yeah, I mean, but yeah, whatever. I think so. I think maybe to claw back from the weeds here on your point is, I agree with you that there should be kind of like a guy that's a little bit more locked into, Underdog's Twitter account or something that's like got a little bit better feel for the injury situations and like when guys are going to be out and stuff like that. And I mean, I could see that being a fair critique, but like also like, because I've seen some comments in the chat like, well, do they need like an NBA expert? It's like I don't think it's just a bunch of like French soccer bros that are like, let's try to figure out the NBA here.
No, they have an NBA team.
Like they've got a full NBA team and like they're knowledgeable about the sport and stuff like that. So I feel like I think it's more. I would say I think it's more relative to like finding that path of supply and demand with the market and like the user base than it is like an NBA knowledge kind of thing.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying is like ultimately to like TLDR, Top Shot didn't seem to automate anything, which was horrifying when I found that out. But on the flip side, it seems like a deep threat, not a deep threat. Why I said that? Seems like SoRare. It seems like SoRare has
Top Shot Tesla right on cue. Right on cue.
Also, we the people since I walked into gym being upset there's not enough Theo Maledons. What the fuck is happening?
No, but
we're gonna get you a jersey.
Yeah. That's the next step. That'll be the next 1 minute. Jeb 1 minute. Just a rant on Theo Maledon stats. But yeah, Top Shot. Like when I found out Top Shot wasn't automating anything, like there's an old clip of me talking to a deep threat where I'm like, Top Shot must take these numbers, they plug them into an algo, and it tells them how much to mint. I was absolutely horrified when I found out that wasn't true. And now on the flip side, it just seems like SoRare is like, yeah, let it run. Like we should
careful what you wish for, Jeb. Careful what you wish for.
Jeb,
I'm not wishing. Well, I'm not wishing for anything.
I'm shocked to learn that Top Shot's got almost the same amount of Maledons as SoRare. Like in comparison, right? Like normally each player has 42 moments. Theo Maledon only has his rookie debut and his rising star. And you can own the entire Maledon collection. Let's see, how many have been burned? 177. It's like 6,000 of them for just a few bucks. There you go.
But to go through Jeb's scouting, Theo Maledon was a rising star at one point of his career, so he's got potential.
It's true. I do get what you're saying, though. I do get what you're saying that, like, because then if the whole entire Charlotte Hornets team get in a bus accident, nobody dies. They just can't play. And then all of a sudden Maladon is going to play. Yeah, nobody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? They got to sit out the game. And Maladon plays 35
They're
minutes.
just late to the game. The bus gets an accident.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
safe
But
'cause they're just
he
late.
took his own car. He took his
Yeah.
own car. Because he's not really on the team right now. But but I get what you're saying though. Like where if that happens and there's like 4 of them on the entire platform, it's like 4
well,
cheat codes.
when LaMelo was out, he was playing somewhat regularly, and there were a couple games where he put up like a SoRare score that would be interesting. Is all I'm saying. Like
I'd tell you any SoRare score is interesting. You know,
You can tell story about any score, baby.
yeah. Jaws friends slowed down the bus. Resident Pacers fan John W.
So let's before we get off SoRare, let's talk about how. Okay, so let's go through the assumption that maybe the ETH rewards are never going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if they are. Or they're not, right? But
They're gonna. I
let's go
believe
through-
deep down in my heart of hearts, they'll happen.
I mean, I do too. But let's assume that it's just going to continue to be cards, right? Because I saw
doomed.
somebody be like, "What's that?"
They are doomed if that's the case.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree, but I think so. Maybe that's just the end of the conversation. Like, 'cause
Sorry,
I was
not to
thinking, like,
derail you.
well, I was just thinking, like, does that just like at some point you're gonna get over it, but like also it feels like there's like, okay, so let's say you start getting over the limited rewards, aren't you just gonna kind of like go to the rare level and like now the rare number is gonna look like pretty good to you for a while, and then like, you know, I eventually keep leveling up, or is it not really work like that?
Well, I mean, then it'll be either rare cards are so cheap that you're able to level up with your shitty limited rewards, or you aren't able to, and then you're like, oh, I'm spending more. There's just the thing with it too is that like the longer you go, the less a current user has to spend. So it becomes even like more Ponzi-ish because like
Ponzonomics.
Yeah. So like I know you'll be on board with this, JBB, but like I could literally buy every player this year and then like essentially not have to put anything else in and just like pick and choose.
It was like base set series 4.
Yeah, exactly. It's like base set and flash challenges before you had to burn or lock. So like,
is that what they're seeing on the soccer side of things?
Well, I think the difference is that like there was ETH, so that
but
was
like for 3 people, like right?
It was,
they do the thresholds.
The threshold was a
right,
big
which
thing.
just got introduced, right? That just
they had it at a certain level.
They had it for rares. They had
it for rare, and
okay.
they introduced it for all, but then a lot less overall or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but that was like a big thing. Was that like people could go and buy certain ones essentially as like an ETH investment, and then just like roll those guys out. But like if there isn't at least that, and the other thing I think that the ETH thresholds and rewards does is it like adds liquidity, so then those people would spend it versus just like pulling it out. Whereas like if it's just all cards being interchanged, we know what that happens when it's a closed ecosystem exchanging. So like it's season 1 or like, so like it's fine for now, and like a lot of people aren't, and there's still a lot of people that can be onboarded, but like I think it'll really be like everyone who's bought like their top MVP this year, or like some people have bought multiple of them at the limited or even rare level, and like some, we're not even going to talk about the other levels, but like, people that have bought like a Giannis and a Jokic, like next year, they're not going to be buying a Giannis or a Jokic unless they introduce like way more contests. But then if they're introducing way more contests, it just means people are getting more of the same cards as rewards, which again, like leads back to in reality, the only way I see it working is if they take they specifically use a percentage of the marketplace and or auctions and literally almost announce that this is going right back into the ecosystem as prizes. So kind of like when they make more money, there's more ETH going back to the users, because if not, like it's going to run its course.
Yeah.
I think
Alright,
that's
guys,
what
so
we
let's
were
go.
all.
I was just kind of thinking like, I guess it's just to each person is differently about like what kind of gets it going, right? like, fuck, which you can just say that about a lot of things, but but like there's people in the Discord that are still playing free and like are stoked to get it limited, right? Like what, regardless of how much it's even worth, and then like for like I don't know us, like I'm not always super stoked about getting a limited reward, but like I'm still super juiced about getting a rare, right? And like I don't know, maybe eventually I'll get over the rare, and so maybe I'll just consolidate some limiteds, like sell some stuff, get some ETH back, and then I don't know, send it on a super rare too, and try to like keep building it for that. Like I don't know, like it seems like it's not like completely like the end of the world if they don't introduce ETH like next week. Like maybe there's still a little bit of a runway, but
I'm not even saying it needs to be this year.
yeah.
I see what you're saying though. Like at some point that needs to
Yeah.
evolve. I'm really hoping they do like a cumulative leaderboard type thing, right? So like you can accumulate leaderboard points throughout your performances throughout the end of the year, and then
Do you have to lock these cards at all?
yeah, but you can't move them. You can't move them, and
Can you get like a little like square thing that shows you what position you are or something?
yeah, you get a
accumulate
pin.
it.
You get a pin. We'll call it.
Yeah. Nice.
And then you get LeBron. All right, let's pivot away. Before we pivot away from SoRare, this thing might ship it tonight if we can get Watford going, huh? Look at this limited. This limited contender is in 27th right now. With Watford who put up an 11. I got a 66.
Oh, Zinger's up to 66.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, he's all done. He went hot in the second half. But we get a 66 from him, a 53 from Triple J. I don't imagine Green or Hardy eclipse their numbers. But Watford, if I can get Watford into the 30s, I'm probably not winning, but let's see what
place are you in?
I'm in 27th. I've got 223. First has 274. So I'm not catching first, but I mean 264. I feel like top 10's probably in play. I mean, I know we still have games tomorrow, but look, this dude's got a Jokic.
Everybody's got Sumner and freaking
Jokic in the contender with Bates, Jop, Hardy, Green, and Cam. Wow.
Brooklyn and Mavs backcourt is what you needed this weekend.
Yeah.
100%.
That's fun though. I'm probably gonna not get a limited tier 1, but it would be cool. And more importantly, guys, we just as we pivot here, we're a Premier League maxi now. We
unconfirmed.
We're one for one. I think we just I can't when February 10th, right? So all right, I got tomorrow. We'll figure it out. I won what did I win? I won this dude here. What's his name? Timothy? Is his name Timothy? Yeah, dude. Timothy Castagne, dude. He's really good. He's from Belgium. He's 26, which I like.
Coming into his prime.
What'd you say, Jim?
Oh, how much is he going for? Like, did you?
I think it's like
take a big
4,000. I think.
Three Maladons.
Yeah. Timothy. Well, dude, $17 almost. Come on, bro.
That's not bad.
Big jump too. Big jump to 22. 3 buys to 20.
Smash the
floor is thin, baby.
Smash the floor, Mike.
Where's girl dad when you need him? Look at how good Jalen Noel, 35 SoRare points in 1/2. There we go, AJ. All right, let's pivot to some of the Top Shot stuff. LeBron broke the record last night. Bunch of packs. John, you bought how many packs have you bought so far?
28 packs, baby.
So you bought more today. So you bought 25 last night. You bought more today.
Yeah. Well, I had. Okay, I wasn't gonna buy any packs, and then I was like, I was thinking about it. Wave 2 came on rather quickly, and my wife had fallen asleep on the couch. I was still pretty, still kind of juiced after seeing LeBron break the record.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So I just kind of went ham and I bought a bunch. I had $150 in my account still, so I was like, let's see if this thing still works, and I gave it a rip. And I feel like buying 28 packs with $150 is pretty good in itself. I don't have any money left.
The Top Shot
and I'm
way.
giving away everything that won't sell right now. But I had a lot of fun, and I was like, I felt like just a total degen because originally I was like, okay, I'm gonna rip all these packs. They're all gonna be shit. I'll just turn them into trade tickets. Rip through the locker room packs. Like we'll just have ourselves a night. And then I was like, well, why should I go on the S1 packs if I could just like try to sell these things immediately on the marketplace and just do some more LeBron packs while we're at it. So that's the kind of route I took. And, we'll be getting 28 liquid moments on February 23rd, and we'll be pretty stoked.
Hell yeah.
How many of those moments is there going to be, you think?
Wait, you think how many LeBrons are going to be up for grabs?
Yeah.
I would imagine all 75.
You don't
Yeah,
think
I think-
anyone's moving in?
No,
Well,
dude.
I forget what.
The guy
Okay.
who's 26th said he would have to spend 10K to get to 25th.
Worth it,
So
though.
somebody already jumped. So there's already been a couple jumps.
Oh,
into the top
really? Okay.
25.
Because some people just need to lock, right? They don't need to
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah, there's already been a couple jumps because I was going through it today on a tweet that didn't freaking post. So whatever. I'm
Oh yeah,
remember
dude,
it,
show
but
us that spreadsheet that I could not fucking understand.
I can't even. It's not even on this computer.
And I knew
it's
it
probably
made
not
sense,
anywhere.
but I was just staring at it. It was like, I don't
No,
even
it doesn't
know.
make sense. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I was trying to gather some info from it, and I couldn't really get there.
No, that was truly not a dig at it. I was just like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what this is. Like I couldn't.
I actually, I'll pull it up from Discord because I sent it to you guys. So anyways, I was going through all the top 25, and I forget what the Squirrel Nuts account is, but I don't think the Squirrel Nuts account would have locked LeBron's, right? So
No.
so it was a different Squirrel account that's now in the top 25. And then there's another account that made it into the top 25 that wasn't on the list. So yeah, anyways,
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of I think there's for sure two, but I don't think there's going to be any more than like, I would say like 5 max or something.
Now, if they jump into the top 25, the people that were already in there don't lose it, right?
Correct.
Correct.
The regular folk lose.
Yeah, it's just an extra little carrot.
Can I?
But
this
is what I shared. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I think 89 of them should have
Agree.
been given to leaderboards.
Agree.
I think just like 10 Willy Wonka packs. You know what I mean? Just like throw them out there. And you know what? Top Shot, make them like $25. Like go wild. Make them so minus EV for these.
But
like,
only put out like 100 packs and make it like.
Yeah, there you go.
The Q number matters again.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but I do. I think. I mean, I know
was
people would have been mad
interesting.
about it. I would have loved it though. I would have loved it if it. One, I wouldn't have bought any packs, but I also would have just loved. It's like, hey, listen, the leaderboard thing all the way, and I'm sure whoever finished 90th would have been like, "Are you kidding me?" But I think that would have been a cool way to do it. But whatever. I still think it's cool they use the leaderboards.
Yeah. Well, we can break that down. So I'll just talk about this for like 2 seconds, and it's pretty boring. But I just thought it was interesting. I went through trying to see like, of all the people in the top 25 for the LeBrons, like what's the deal here? So like number of LeBrons they have locked, their cost basis based on live token, which obviously doesn't take into account gifts, which is probably off market type stuff. You can see how many they bought on the marketplace, packs, rewards, gifts, what the TSS is, and then like a TSS per dollar spent kind of thing. So rather large range here. I mean, some guy made it with 2 moments that were both gifts. So I don't know exactly which moments those were.
Yeah, I
but
saw that. That was crazy.
obviously, just locked those up. Don't know how much he bought for back then. Another guy, 3 moments, all gifts. This guy was pretty interesting. 14 moments, all from packs. So obviously, he was super early on. But that I think it's kind of multiple discussions. It's like, one, what should they, or what do we think maybe they should have done? And then 2, I think there's something to gain from this that shows that like TSS, I think, is still a little bit flawed. Because I think it should be more tied, in my opinion, it should just be more tied to either the amount of money that you've spent on things or the amount of money something was at the time that you locked it, if it's like more or less or whatever than what you paid for it. I don't know. I haven't really flushed through exactly like the right way to do it, but like Nest Analytics was sending out some interesting tweets today for certain moments that were locked and like what the crazy inefficiencies were on them, and like because of the average sale thing, like it just takes forever for some of these big moments to drop down in TSS. So like there was a rather large sale last month of a LeBron for like $20,000 that it bumped the average sale to like $85,000, and they were able to lock that in for TSS.
Oh,
Which
wow.
obviously $20,000 is a ton of money, and I would never spend that much on a Top Shot moment, and so I commend that person for spending $20,000 on it. But like just that kind of discrepancy in itself, that like somebody bought it for 20,000, they were able to lock up $85,000 worth of TSS, just kind of seems a little bit wonky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I thought there was some chatter in my Discord today from people just trying to figure out like what was the most optimal way to do it, because obviously like the VIP chat was apparently going off, everybody wanted one and stuff like that, and I mean they're never going to be able to do something that makes everybody happy.
No way.
Yeah.
And
I will
think
say. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say like the more that you were mentally invested into it, or financially invested into the LeBron leaderboard, obviously the more you cared about these things. Like me having no place on the LeBron leaderboard, I wouldn't have given a shit if they gave them all to the top 100.
Right.
Like, fuck everybody else, right? But if you're number 26 and they gave them to the top 25, like obviously you're super pissed or whatever. You're like bummed.
I will say I like that they did allow for jumping into the top 25 though. I think that was like a good
I think
adjustment,
that's really cool.
Last time they didn't do it. The other thing too, man, listen, I know it was super dumb to buy those packs. The 3 that I bought, the 28 that John bought, like I know that those were dumb decisions, man. But this was like the dream of when we first started talking about Top Shot, like 2 years ago, of being like, man, how dope is it going to be? Now, it wasn't the exact moment where like, shout out Greg Dunbar, who was like, there's going to be someday a massive moment's going to happen, and then they're going to be like, collect this moment now on NBA Top Shot, like right after it happens, right? Like 2 commercial. That's not what happened, but it was dope that like we were all watching the game together, and Top Shot was ready with no mention of LeBron, but with like a tweet thread, with an email, and with a pack drop like immediately. And it was like midnight Eastern time, and I was like, hell yeah, let's get in line. Like this is cool.
Can we talk about the pack drop? Because I'm curious what your guys' opinion is, because I honestly, the way they did it kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. It just seemed a little, so to John's point, you said that like they didn't tell. It just seems like they really were like, oh, let's extract more money from people, as opposed to kind of reward existing collectors. And like this is like might be the last great carrot that they have, so they really kind of swung for the fences, it seemed.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean like that?
Yeah.
What do you mean by like it was the last swing for the fence?
Like when is Top Shot going to have a moment this coveted again? It's going to be probably a very long time. And
Right,
so
I mean, Cam Thomas keeps playing.
I did see someone in chat point out that Theo Maledon is only 38,000 points away. So
there you go.
It's not impossible.
I mean, he's got 800 in his career.
Yeah, probably.
That is, but like, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it's the same too that everyone has talked about it along with it, right? It's always been the Steph Curry breaking the 3-point record was going to be cool. LeBron breaking the record was going to be cool. And then it's MJ and Kobe. Like those are that's what everybody has said like the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
I think I mean, I was thinking about it a little bit more yesterday because we were kind of brainstorming this whole anthology set, which ended up actually happening. I was shocked. But I feel like there's some LeBron moments out there that are still going to be pretty sweet. Like whenever the
LeBron
comes
block.
out,
Yeah.
and like, I mean, like the 25 points in a row in Detroit, and
The
like
real.
there's some
Oh,
there's
man.
some LeBron stuff that'll still get the people going. That'll probably be in this anthology set. I need to reread the blog, but didn't they say that the anthology set would be like when he retires?
I didn't
Or-
read the blog.
I didn't read.
yeah,
I didn't see that. I scanned the blog. I didn't see that.
It was late.
maybe
night.
I made that up, but
Yeah, it was late at night.
yeah, but like, so I think what you're trying to say, Jeb, is like, so are you trying to say like the 100,000 packs at $9 was like seeming like, yeah, they're doing this LeBron lottery, but they're also taking out like $900,000 from everybody?
Well, it's just more of like they're like, hey, like who knows when we'll have a moment like this that people want. Let's make sure we fully capitalize on it and sell all these packs and get all these garbage moments out. And then on top of that, instead of selling all the packs as a whole, like, yes, you could kind of figure out how many packs there were, but by doing it in waves, they kind of were like, oh, let's like create artificial demand. So like if you don't jump in this wave, like suddenly they're all sold out, and then you get this like FOMO to try and jump into the next one. When if they did like the full pack release, everyone would be getting multiple packs.
No, so I'd push back on that because
Okay.
because literally the last fucking 3 months there's been a billion fucking packs for sale on the site, and they can't seem to sell a friggin' pack to save their life. So I think
That's what I'm saying.
wave thing. Yeah, but so I think the wave thing was them being like, okay, like we're not
What
going to
if this
put
doesn't sell
100,000 for sale. Like we're going to do 25,000. Maybe this takes a couple days. Then we're going to do another 25. Like I don't think in their brains they're like, this is going to sell out within an hour. And I think they like.
But
Like, I just think
maybe
they
it was
underestimated it a little bit.
I
maybe it was
think in
just their
their
algorithm deciding.
I know that that's not the case. No, but I feel like Boston Base is saying like some people didn't know that there were multiple waves. I feel like by doing the waves, it created artificial demand, and it just seems kind of like a little. I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way.
I mean, I think it's, but that's like a classic Top Shot thing. That's like a classic, like 17 blogs go live, 3 challenges go live, and you got to like figure out everything that's fucking going on. Like, I think like they talked about the waves in the blog, and like if you do the math on the rares, you know there's 100,000 packs. Like I get it that like that's like not everybody's first step, but like I don't know, like that stuff is, and I get it. It was also midnight, and yada yada yada. But like I don't think that part is like that big of a deal that they did it in the waves, and I truly think that they did the waves because they didn't think like they thought they were gonna have these packs on sale like for a week or something. Like given the past history of packs over the last month or whatever.
To a Deep Threat's point, if they thought they would be around for like days, like I feel like they're just completely out of touch then with like
Well,
I don't know.
That's, I mean, nobody's pushing back on that they're out of touch.
Okay, so you're just saying it's more like incompetence as opposed to being like
Yeah, I
malicious.
think it was like them trying to learn and be like, okay, we just kind of got a little bit embarrassed. Like we just had to take down all these packs that didn't sell before this LeBron thing, and then like before the next pack that were putting on sale fucking tomorrow or whatever it is. And and so they're like, all right, we're gonna kind of like throw things back. If they sell, we'll put up some more and yada yada yada. And then all of a sudden, people were like, boom, LeBron record. I have a lotto shot at it. All these things are going. Like I don't even think that. Like if I were them, I don't know why they did 3 waves last night and 1 today. Like I would have done 1 wave last night and 3 today. Right?
I think what happened was that they were like, okay, let's do like 25,000 first. If they sell, we'll put out another one, like another 25, and we'll do it in those increments. But then it was going so fast, they just started pushing them out, and then they're like, oh shit, like we got to hold on to some of these, or like the people that are asleep are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean,
I think like they were just like, yeah,
classic,
throw it out, throw it out. They're like, whoa, shit, like we got to slow down now because this is like the opposite of why we did this.
And so I think the larger point in maybe what we were circling on is like, that's true. That's very true, Ghost. They would have not.
Okay.
Actually, that is kind of like an interesting point of what I was just going to bring up is it's just like another proof that like they don't really like model this shit out about like when they price it at 9 and like what's in their packs and like the fact that okay, because yes, you got the LeBron Lotto, but then you also got like a mini LeBron Lotto with the LeBron Rare that was in there that because of the challenge that they put out was now worth $300 instead of $80, right? And so like that in itself was like another large impetus for people to go after the packs because there was the LeBron Rare worth $350 or whatever it was for a while. And so like
Yeah.
I just think all this stuff is just like a great example of how they don't really like flush through things when they're thinking of it, and they're always kind of like it's like a flop lag kind of thing where they're like, oh, we weren't selling packs, so now we'll do less, and they're like, oh shit, now they're all gone. And like I think they truly probably thought this stuff would be like about a week or so, right? And it's like already over before like 24 hours. And so I don't know. I think I wouldn't. I guess I would give them a pass a little bit on that. But the part that pisses me off is the $9 price point. It's like, and maybe again they're just so out of touch, and they think like
people are gonna buy
like, I don't know
28
why
of them.
they think this. I don't know why they think this, but maybe they think like, okay, people are gonna see LeBron break the record. We're gonna send an email out to the same fucking 5,000 people that get all of our emails, and then 20,000 people are going to come to the website and buy these moments. Like that, it's just not going to happen. Like
It
so,
did
like,
though.
yeah, but not really. Like I'm saying, I'm saying like I don't think 20,000 people came and bought packs. Like
No.
I think the same
Like
5,000 of us
10,000.
bought packs, right? The same people that have been like kind of more or less Top Shot adjacent for the last 6 months are the ones buying packs. Like there wasn't, to your point, a big Top Shot commercial right after say, come on to our website, figure out
Right.
how this shit works, right? And
Yeah.
so and so that just gets so that's where I like am just so frustrated with why they just stick to this $9 thing. And I called them out on it at the beginning of the year because $9 easy, right? They're like $9 like as low as it gets. So like it's as safe as they can do from EV
Right.
calcs, 3 moments, like whatever, it's less risk. And it's like, so if they're of the mindset that like, yeah, probably these same 5,000 people are still going to buy all the shit, and like they can save however many the fuck they want for starter packs. They can do $9 starter packs. They can gate them for newbies and blah blah blah, whatever. Have those go for the next 2 weeks until they sell out. Try to market to people. Who gives a fuck? Do whatever you want with starter packs. But for the 3,000 to 5,000 of us that are like just wanting to gamble, make it more efficient for us to gamble. Like, don't make me buy 28 packs. Let me spend the same amount of money, but let me buy 4 packs and still get the same amount of shitty moments. And like, why do we have to do $9 packs? Is my point. Like, make them $49 and you get a shitty rare, or you get 15 moments in it or something. Like what?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I thought it was like,
All right.
I was
Well,
like,
so then, do you think they did that because they thought 20,000 people were going to come back to the site? So they're like, "Oh man, we got to have enough packs for all these people." Like, I don't know. I know we're all
I don't know. I don't know
taking
either.
shots, but in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know either. But like, to me,
I don't even think Connected and Collected thought that 20,000 people were coming to the site last night. Like
yeah.
that is
No, because
like,
there was no ad, man.
Exactly.
dude.
Well,
There
but
was no
like
one playing guitar telling them to come.
Do they
through.
have the streaming rights?
Mike, some people thought that the Portland Trailblazers like free NFT thing was going to bring 10,000 people to the site.
Do you?
So-
You know what's so
That's
funny?
people,
People
though. That's
still
not,
don't
like,
know that wasn't
internally.
Top Shot,
Yeah.
right? Like that wasn't.
Yeah.
That was Lava Lamp or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, it was,
Like-
it was a Zapper wallet. You're Top Shot adjacent, just as good.
I just don't think like I don't know. Like they have to know right now that like even when the S1 packs for 40 trade tickets that have been, talked about forever, and there's Giannis MGLEs and whatever, like that brought 7,000 people back. And that was over maybe like an extra week or two of some marketing, getting some people, some emails and stuff like that, and getting some people excited. That brought like an extra 2,000 people. So just like doing the LeBron thing and like blitzing it and like not having any marketing on TNT or not having an email or Like I got a freaking NBA email jerking off LeBron today with a bunch of stuff about like LeBron's life. And there was nothing about Top Shot in. I was like, okay, well, like, so why would they think
The
that a
packs were
bunch of
sold
people
out,
were?
man.
They had to pivot. They had to
They
pivot.
had to edit that out.
Yeah. Oh, can we let's talk about this and then let's get out of here. I gotta go to bed.
All right, deep threat, you're in.
Yeah, deep threat. There you go. Tag in. Why? What happened with that? Do you think they just aren't allowed to use LeBron's name to promote stuff?
I swear they've used his name many times before. Or either that, or I am just so like delusional here. I just feel like they just didn't put it in on accident, which doesn't
Was it
make
just
sense.
the thread? Or was
No,
it
I
an
don't think it was
email
in the
too
blog
that-
either. I don't think it was in the thread or the blog.
Yeah,
It definitely was in the Twitter thread. I already told you I didn't read the blog.
I read the blog, but I don't think it was in the blog. But yeah, I don't know. It's let me just double check. It'd be super.
Let's
easy
all,
to
yeah.
double check.
Also, somebody who was at Boston based earlier that was like, "Do you do this for a living?"
LeBron is written 11 times in the blog.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right,
I thought. Okay.
And there
Boston
is
based.
LeBron James many times.
It wasn't
I
the
think-
Twitter thread.
I think they just got very wordy trying to fit in all these adjectives to make it seem like as big of a deal as possible and forgot to put LeBron in it, which, that hurts SEO, that hurts like visibility. So it's like it really prevents any type of accidental marketing from even happening. So that's
Oh,
good.
dude, I forgot about accidental marketing. Remember, we need to get to a baseball game ASAP.
Mm. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Dude, if we
Yeah,
that
so,
was
like,
still one of the funniest things that and honestly, you know what though? They weren't wrong. That is the most marketing they've done. So
yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense, but at this point, like if we're gonna chalk up the whole pack drop thing to incompetence, like this tweet is probably the same thing. Like it's weird, but at this point, like we've seen it so many times in so many different ways. Like what else are we supposed to think?
Well, listen, you know what? John, you're muted, but dude, you seem passionate. What's up, man?
We got to give him some flowers. Like
Yeah.
like
It was awesome.
100,000 packs sold.
Yeah.
People were freaking out. Everybody was stoked. People were excited in every single Discord last night. However the fuck they did it, we could break it down however we want and why it could have been better. And obviously, that's what we do.
Discords
that's
are the busiest they've been in a long time.
Yeah, but people are stoked, and you
Yeah.
know, I'm not gonna I've been joking a lot about that Top Shot's back, but like, we're not gonna see a big record be broken every night, but
It was fun.
it's fun.
Well, yeah,
It's
every
super
time
fun,
LeBron
yeah.
plays.
Yeah,
That's true. But it was it was fun though. Like it legit was a good time. Like it was exciting, and that's like, hey, listen, Jacob, future of fandom, dude. That truly is what it is. Like that was exciting.
I will
I was
say
collecting and connecting last night. I will say that.
to go to the giving them flowers thing, I will say just real quick, I think what they did with the tour pack is really cool. Like I think it's cool that like it's a moment from every game that like people went to and it's minted to demand. And to continue that, I think what they're doing with the All-Star game seems pretty cool, where it's minted to demand, like low price. If this is something you really want, you can get it. I think all that stuff's good to see, right?
The best All-Star game they've had.
Yeah.
Are they going to the All-Star game? Did they say anything about that in the announcements today?
I doubt it.
Kiosk.
They haven't mentioned it at all. I'm sure someone will be there, but it seems it's not going to be like last year. It seems like.
Also, dude, shout out Pack Drip, who he commented on a video. I think it was yesterday or today. I just saw it today. Where he just said like, shout out the Atlanta Hawks team. They bought land and because they did the refurbished park, and just the team community Discord, and that it just got me so
awesome.
good. So shout out Pack Drip, man. You know what though? Let's end with this. What's the last? Oh no, I guess they had the tour. They've had the tour. I was gonna say they haven't done one of those VIP experiences since Clay. But they did. They've been at the tour, all the tour stuff. So that
and the tour they crushed. That all looked super sick. So
yeah. Also, are any of the who are the dudes that are going to the? Yeah, if you got one of those, hit me up. Let's
Oh
talk.
yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
I
Let's
was
talk.
looking through those. There's about 10 that are for sale right now. So,
Road trip,
What
road
are
trip,
they?
John.
What are they going for?
so because I went through them all when I created the stupid tweet on Sunday, and there's only 2 that have been resold, and they both went for about 30K.
Steal.
And
Do you know if
yeah,
that
I mean,
was? Do
Were
you know
they
if that was?
losses?
Yeah, I was about to say. Do we know if that's a
yeah,
loss?
they were both losses. Yeah.
Ooh.
One of them was the guy, which applaud this motherfucker, the guy who won it in the auction, like the random draw. There was the
Oh
30
yeah,
grand
of course.
for the random job.
Of
Dude cashed out
course.
for like 19 grand, I think, or something like that. So he
Wow.
crushed it.
So that's not for a
And
loss.
yeah, I think the lowest is like 30,000 right now or something. So
Well, yeah. So PPE said they have to be there because they're the ones hosting the All-Star Game VIPs. Well, all right.
That makes
Well,
sense.
somebody get me in there. You know what I'm saying? If Mike throws another birthday party, we can get enough super chats to buy an All-Star Game 1-on-1. We got close to deep threat. We got close. That ended up almost paying for both Jason Tatum Top Shot debuts. So it was pretty close. If we wait a couple weeks, it will pay for both Jason Tatum Top Shot debuts. All right, gang, let's get out of here. I gotta go to bed.
Dallas is smacking the Clippers.
Yeah, I saw something
mean,
that did Kyrie get hurt? I saw somebody
Yeah,
post.
He's banging threes right now. So
Oh, is he?
Cam Reddish to the Trailblazers. That's kind of interesting.
Cam
but
Reddish
not-
to the Blazers, Josh Hart to the Knicks, which means Josh Hart's not playing tonight. Like free Watford, dude. I want a T1.
Let's go.
JBB, you got anything coming up this week? What are you gonna plug?
we revised the SoRare sheets. We've got individual game projections. We've got much fresher ceiling projections based on points per minute, stuff like that. So we were previously using averages. Now we're using every game, taking the highest. So just really trying to hone in the SoRare projections.
Love that. Love that. Jeb, you did the marathon stream about the trade deadline. So if people have trade questions as we get closer, go check that out before tomorrow. What else you got going on?
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Check out the stream and play it at 2 times speed if you want to get it through in a reasonable time. And there's still some players out there. There's some that I've mentioned that have since been traded, and now their value, like you shouldn't go and buy them because they already shot up. But if you look at those charts, like we looked at the beginning, you should realize that there's still opportunities out there, and you should just whether you watch my stream or like read an article or something. I think there's opportunities out there, and there's a lot of fun to be had. So
Hell yeah.
check it out.
We got Boston-based new member.
Shout out
too.
to
Shout out
Boston Base. Thank you, sir.
TST, what about you? You just dropped a video, correct?
just dropped a game week 33 preview and starting up a little private league over there. So check out the video for those details.
Ooh, private.
There you go.
VIPs only?
That's it.
VIPs, bitch. Tomorrow, what do we got? Morning show at 9. We have value hunting will come out tomorrow, and then we also have a special episode of the 89 Cavs post trade deadline, which will cover mostly just like the basketball moves and goofing around, and I'll talk a little SoRare as well on that. And then Friday morning show live before lock at 5:30. Lots of fun stuff happening. Make sure you go check out everyone's channels before
hectic.
What's up?
My live before lock's gonna be hectic.
That is going to be hectic. That is going to be hectic. All right, Jeb, we got a minute. I don't know if we're talking UFC Strike, if we're talking.
Oh boy, we're talking UFC Strike, dude. I have something for you guys.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
The timer has started.
Okay, so guys, just in case you were wondering, UFC Strike announced a major update. They have a new GM who I believe is working with the gaming company Concept Labs that they just partnered with. They announced that they're going to make a game. It sounds like it's going to be something involving lineups, but there might be some burning mechanism of some sort to like have happen in order to play, which sounds kind of interesting because we do know that there's a lot of oversupply still in UFC Strike. So I'm
Dapper product has oversupply.
Yeah, classic.
Okay.
But I'm actually pretty excited. They're going to release some sort of beta version. Keyword there, beta is our favorite type of product in Q2. They said But the reason I'm actually kind of excited about this, as opposed to being a little pessimistic, is that I think like the fact that they're partnering with an outside like proven company